Alright, so in this Inav tutorial, we'll be doing the mixers tabs, and here it will not take very long, so I'm going to make this video nice and simple. Our drone is connected to Inav here, and in the last video we did the status and calibration. So calibrating your drone and reading out the different statuses to understand the state of your drone. Now in the mixers tab here, since we just converted this drone from Betaflight firmware to Inav firmware, we see here we have this error. We're going to be working out with it. So platform configuration, there's different ones. So there are both, there's rovers, tricopters, airplanes, and multi-rotors. So our drone is a quadcopter and is considered a multi-rotor. It does not use any servos for like flaps and so on. It's not a plane. So it can be a tricopter right here, but if you have a multi-rotor, it will be probably like 6 rotors, a quadcopter, or octocopter, generally like that. So motor direction is going to be normal, or you can put it reversed, and that's generally the direction you want your motors to actually turn, considering the directions that you actually have your props installed onto your motors. So you're going to leave it normal, but if you put it as reverse, you can clearly see the mixer preset. It's in reverse right here. So with normal, the number 1 propeller will turn clockwise, the number 2 will turn anti-clockwise, the number 3 will turn anti-clockwise, and the number 4 will turn clockwise. So generally that's a general rule of thumb for the normal rotors. Motor number 1 and motor number 4 turns clockwise. Motor number 2 and motor number 3 turns anti-clockwise. And we're using the preset for quad X, but you can also have different multi-rotors right here, like the Y6, which is using 6 propellers. And we're just going to click to quad X, and we're going to have, you see timers here. So we have 5 timers, which is the LED. So if you have servo, if you actually have a servo pin on your board, as in a physical pin you can solder on, if you have that servo pin on your board based on your flight controller, therefore you'll have servo right there. But we have 5 timers on this quadcopter, which is the Holybro H7 flight controller. We have 4 more motors. So we have 4 motors here, and we have 4 more motors because this can actually plug and play to be a octocopter. So we have 4 more motors, and we have the LED pin. We have no servo pin, but we have the LED pin. So here we can have timers like the LED, and then you're gonna have motors, and continuous to our motors. For now, we're just gonna leave it empty, but we know for a fact we have 5 timers, and those timers are basically what you could use for your planes, for flaps and so on, and for also if you want to have a camera gimbal. So in the preset here, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to have the motor mixer wizard, and here we can see everything has to be done manually, just like calibrating. So the rear right motor, that's my rear right here, which is motor number 1. Here you can see it's marked as motor number 1. The front right is motor number 2. The rear left is motor number 3. And the front left is motor number 4, which is the front left right here. And basically that's generally what you see right here. So I'm going to click on save and reboot here, because I actually loaded what's already there. So once you're going to load a mixer, whenever you're going to choose a different mixer, you can click on load and save. So generally that is it right here. So we have a different error right here because we just basically chose our motor mixer. We no longer have that error, but you most likely will not get errors if you already have a flight controller that had Inav installed. Everything should come preset, but we have this. So the PWM output is disabled, motors and servos will not work. Use output tab to enable. Now we're going to be moving to the output tab after this, but first and foremost we're just going to finish the motor tab. So here we can have the motor mixer right there, and you can put different presets here to actually choose what you want for motor number 1 to motor number 4. So if I have motor number 1 to have a throttle value of, let's say for the value of 4, therefore it will have a throttle value of 4. That's something you're actually going to be using if you're going to actually have a servo, or you're going to have a motor that's generally your idle speeds basically here. So here, all motors, you can choose the idle speeds from here, and you can choose different values for roll, pitch, and yaw from here. But for now, we are not going to be doing that. And the output mapping right here, here you can see we have S1 and S2 until you get to S9. So you have 8 motor outputs, so number 1 to number 8, and you have the LED timer right here. So all those there are timers, and this is where you install your servos. Servos can only be installed on a timer, and here you can see the timers right here. The function for motor number 1 to motor number 4 are basically timers right here. So the function for timer 3, timer, those 2 timers here, and those 2 timers here, the first 4 timers are considered my motors number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I can use either motor number 8 to motor number 5 as servos, or use the LED timer as a servo, and it will be recognized in the functions field down there. So here we have servo mixers, and Inav is really good for servos. For now, we are not going to do anything much with servos, but we will get to it later on in those tutorials. But that's it for this video, guys. Very short and simple, so hopefully it was comprehensive, and see you in the next video.